Hello everyone! Today we are going to practice using skip counting as an addition strategy. You might remember that there are many ways to count to 100. You don't always have to count by ones. You can skip count. For example, in the past we have talked about counting by tens. Starting from different points. We've also talked about counting by fives, and so forth. We've also talked about counting by twos and also starting at different numbers. All of these ways of skip counting can help us with addition. Today we are going to start by using counting by tens to help us with addition questions. Now it's important to remember that when you count by tens, you don't have to start at 10. Of course, this is one way to get to 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. It's true that that is counting by tens, because every time we get to the next number, we're getting 10 bigger. That's what 10 looks like. In order to get to the next number, I add 10 more. Now I've made 20. In order to get to the next number after that, I need 10 more. Now I have 30. To get to the next number after that, I need one more group of 10. I'm getting 10 bigger again, and now I've made 40. But like I mentioned, we don't have to start at the number 10 in order to count by tens. We can start anywhere. So, for example, if we start at the number, no, let's actually change that. If we start at the number 1, and we want to count by tens, we start with 1, of course, and then to get to the next number, we have to get 10 bigger. Now we've made 11. 10, 11. In order to get to the next number after that in the sequence, we have to get 10 bigger again. 10, 20, 21. To get to the next number after that, we need to get 10 bigger once more. 10, 20, 30, 31. You see, we're still getting bigger by 10 each time. So when you count by tens, it doesn't matter where you start. As long as you're going straight down the 100s chart, it's counting by tens. And that's because the number in the tens place is getting one bigger. So for example, if you started at the number 4, you'll notice that all of the numbers in this column end in a number 4, but the number of tens gets one bigger, one bigger, one bigger. Anyways, now that we've reviewed counting by tens, let's see how this can help us with addition questions. We're going to start with this question. This is the addition question, 30 plus 10. I'm excited about this question because I see that it's a plus 10 question, so I can use skip counting by tens to help me. If I look at my 100s chart, I'm going to be starting at the number 30. And then I'm going to be getting 10 bigger. So after I get 10 bigger, the number I land on is 40. I used counting by tens to help me find the answer. I was at 30, and then I thought, what will I say next if I keep counting by tens? Let's try another one. $70 plus 10 equals, use your 100s chart. Let's start at 70. If we have 70 and then we get 10 bigger, we will get to 80. We are using counting by tens to help us with our addition questions. 70 plus 10 more is 80. That means if I start at 70 and I keep counting by tens, then I will get to 80. But as we said, we don't always have to stick to the multiples of 10 column. We can start from anywhere. So let's pick a different number this time, one that doesn't end in 0. Let's do this one. 37 plus 10 equals. 37 plus 10 equals. In order to find the answer, well, we can still use skip counting by tens because we're getting 10 bigger. If we go to our 100s chart and we start at the number 37, remember when we count by tens, we go in a straight line down on our 100 chart. If I want to get 10 bigger, I will get to the number 47. If you don't believe me, you can always build it with base 10 blocks. If you imagine what 37 would look like, and I don't have 7 ones handy, but then you imagine 47, the only difference is that there's one more group of 10. So 37 plus 10 gives us 47. Let's try one more. Let's do 64 plus 10. This is still a skip counting by 10 question because we're getting 10 bigger, but our starting number is 64. Let's find 64 on our 100s chart. Now, if we want to get 10 bigger, let's move in a straight line down. We know that when we do this, we add one more group of 10. You see the number 64 has 6 groups of 10, and the number 74 has 7 groups of 10. That means we added one more group of 10. 64 plus 10 takes us to the number 74. This is how skip counting by tens can help us with addition. Sometimes, though, there's another way of using skip counting by tens, and it involves disguising your numbers. I'm going to give you an example. There's different ways to solve this question, but one of the ways is to actually use skip counting by 10. I'm going to circle the number 20, and the reason I'm circling it is because I can write it in a different way. I can disguise it. You see, when I make the number 20, what it actually means is 10 and 10. And the reason I'm writing the number 20 as 10 and 10 is because now I can use skip counting by tens to find the answer to my question. My new addition question will be 20 plus 10 plus 10. You see, 10 and 10 is the same as 20. So if I don't like it, I can just write it in a different way. This is great. Now I'm going to start at the number 20 on my 100 chart, and then I'm going to add 10 more, and then 10 more again, and that will get me my answer. Let's have a look. I start at the number 20, I add 10 more, and 10 more again, and the number I get to is 40. 20, 30, 40. Let's try this again. Here's the question, 70 plus 20 equals. Let's try the same trick we did last time. We'll think about the number 20 in a different way. This is what 20 looks like. 20 is really just the same thing as 10 and 10 more. It's just a different way of writing it. And the reason we like to write 20 as 10 and 10 is because now we can use skip counting by tens to help us find the answer. If we're starting at the number 70, and then we get 10 bigger and 10 bigger again, we will find our answer. So let's start at the number 70 and skip count by tens twice. Here's the number 70. We get 10 bigger, then we get 10 bigger again, and the number we land on is 90. 70, 80, 90. It works. We'll try plus 20 questions again, but this time we're going to start at a number that does not end in 0. Let's do this one. 52 plus 20. 52 plus 20. This is great. We can turn our 20 into 2 groups of 10 in order to be able to use skip counting to help us find the answer. I like to write the number 20 like this, 10 and 10. It's really just the same thing, just disguised in a different way. If we start at the number 52 and add 10 more, and then add 10 more again, what number will we get to? Well, let's look at our 100 chart. We start at the number 52, and then we get 10 bigger, and then we get 10 bigger again. And the number we land on is 72. That means we counted it like this, 52, 62, 72, and that helped us find our answer. Let's try this next one. 83 plus 20. Well, we already know we can write 20 in a different way. We can think about 20 as 10 and 10 more. We know that 10 and 10 is the same as 20. If we start at 83 and then we get 10 bigger, we will get to 93. If we get 10 bigger again, we will get to 103. Of course, your 100 chart does not go up that high, so you have to continue the pattern. That means if we start at 83 and we get 10 bigger again to 93, you have to imagine what number will be underneath that, since our 100 chart does not go that far. In this case, it will be 103. 83, 93, 103. That's another plus 20 question. What if we did a plus 30 question? Let's look at that. We'll start with this one. 40 plus 30 equals, I'm going to turn my 30 into 10, 10, and 10 more. The reason I wrote 30 in this way is because then I can use skip counting by tens to help me find the answer. You see, I know 30 looks like that, 3 groups of 10, 10, 20, 30. But if I want to skip count by tens, it would be easier if I split them up. 10, 20, 30. So, a 10 here, a 10 here, and a 10 here gives me 30. This is great because now when I start at 40, I can skip count by tens. I'll get 10 bigger again, 10 bigger again, and that will get me to my answer. You can use your 100 chart or do it in your head. 40, 10 more would be 50, 10 more would be 60, 10 more would be 70. Let's double check that on the chart. Start at the number 40. And now remember, this time we're adding 30, so we're getting bigger by 10 3 times. 10 more, 10 more, 10 more. Yep, the number we landed on was 70. 40 plus 30 is 70. All we did was skip count by tens. 40, 50, 60, 70. Let's try one more plus 30 question. Let's do 23 plus 30. Remember, we can write 30 in a different way. 30 is the same as 10, 10, 10. It's 3 groups of 10. 10, 20, 30. And this is great because now we can use skip counting by tens to help us find the answer. We're starting at 23. Now let's add 10 more. 33. Then 43. Then 53. We can double check our answer on our 100 chart. We started at 23, and then we skip counted by tens 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and we landed on 53. Remember, every time we go to the next level, it's 10 bigger. 10 bigger, 10 bigger. And in total, it made 30 bigger because we did it 3 times. hopefully this is helpful. Remember, anytime you see a number that ends in 0, you can turn it into groups of 10. And that way you can skip count by tens to help you find the answer. See you next time.